Hoi there, it's Skyward Shield. Welcome to Football Talks. We are on week 5, I believe. I'm here with Bill again. Say hello, Bill.
Hey! Oh man, I keep doing that for some reason.
No, it's fine. Oh,
Skype noises are giving me issues, so I'm just
one more
adjusting.
thing. Just in case we miss like another Thursday game, do you want to do week six's Thursday game too? Just in
Yeah,
case, just so we can at least always get that pick.
yeah, I'm the. It'll be like a preliminary pick. I'm cool with that.
So technically, we'll have two Texans games because that one's the next Thursday game after the
Yeah,
Packers.
but
Yeah.
we'll just pick that game. We're not going to really put any thought or effort into it because really, week by week it'll change.
Yeah, and if we do have a chance to record before the Thursday one, then we'll we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
All
but
right, you ready?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
All right, let's talk about the past games because we didn't have really any topics worth discussing this time around. So we'll
Yeah.
start off with the one that that Bill considers the least entertaining, but I was still satisfied. The Houston game against the Bills because the Bills offense was still pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's overshadowed. They got some nice weapons.
they got. I'll tell you one player that I was pretty impressed by, Sammy Watkins. Even though he had only 30 yards, he decently played well. I mean, he wasn't spectacular, but he caught a touchdown pass, which was his first of his career.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be the first of many because I don't think the Bills are going to let him go. I hope not because, I mean, you need to spend these years getting weapons. So, anyway.
I
The,
mean, no, go ahead.
well, the first half, it was almost a stalemate till the Bills broke it and then scored 10 points that were unanswered. Of course, at the end, Ryan Fitzpatrick threw a really good pass to DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh yeah, that really deep pass, and he caught it for
That
the
was
touchdown.
that was it was bullseye. That was perfect targeting. And I thought that was really clean, really nice. And
And
there was some trivia that DeAndre and a guy from the Bills went from the same college, Clemson.
oh yeah, Clemson University, yes. Yep.
There were three players in that game that are from Clemson.
Damn.
Who was that
That
other one? I want to say it was Watkins, but I don't think it was.
might have. I'm not sure if Sam. It might be Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, and DeAndre Hopkins and that other player knew each other personally. They're friends.
Yeah, it does. Maybe it was C.J. Spiller.
I think it might have been. I don't remember, but because they mentioned it, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty neat." And they both scored a touchdown.
Oh
It's
dear.
whoever scored the first touchdown for the Bills that got it. But anyway, that was the way to end the half, getting a touchdown, make it 10-7. And I think there were a couple turnovers. There were two interceptions, I believe, from Fitzpatrick, but there was a fumble drop by Andre Johnson. But
Which
that that
which does not happen very often
that did
at
not
all.
happen for how many years? 4, 6 years?
It was some crazy stat. It was like 4 or 6 years. Yes.
I always wonder how the hell do they keep that trivia so close to them? Like, where do they get it from?
Oh, there's statisticians in the press box.
I know. It's like, dude, they look up these things on, like, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to
They're
say?
like, time to get out my computer and look this up.
You can't Google that shit.
To Google.
They have to have their own NFL search database
Oh
exclusive to
yeah.
them.
Uh,
But
Tip,
what?
typically they would have the general in-game statistics like team records, and then they go by that, and then they'll be like, oh, this is the first time since 19 blah 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 that this has happened.
Yeah. But even so, that was rare, and he was mad at himself, and that's what probably did not let him get ever a touchdown for the rest of the game. I still want him to get a touchdown because, like I keep saying, if he doesn't start making some points, I think he is going to quit because he was dissatisfied with the team, as everybody probably heard. And I think even if the Texans get a good record and still not make the playoffs, or even if they do somehow, which I don't think will happen, he might still quit. He wants a team where he can get the points. You know what I mean? Make it feel like a more valuable piece, because Hopkins is pretty much scoring everything if it's not Arian Foster.
I'll put it this way. Andre Johnson, I think his days as a number one receiver are done. But I think he would make a very nice complementary receiver to DeAndre Hopkins. Sort of have their roles reversed, where DeAndre is now the number one and Andre Johnson's the number two. So that way, Andre Johnson might not get as much get as targeted. You start targeting DeAndre as a number one in your offense, and you put Andre as your number two. He will get more catches. It's almost guaranteed.
Well, that game was kind of proof of that, because they tried to cover Hopkins more. He even tried to emulate that one-handed catch from last week, but that was picked off. They saw it coming.
Yeah, DeAndre is probably the Texans' best weapon besides Arian Foster whenever Arian Foster's not hurt.
They kind of have an offense similar to the Cowboys. One of the best rushers or runners in the league, Arian Foster, as long as he doesn't get injured. And Hopkins is kind of like the Dez Bryant, because he can be double covered and still get a ball with one hand.
And if you really think of it, Ryan Fitzpatrick fits that Tony Romo mold really well.
Yeah.
He makes some really good decisions, and then he just craps out on a decision, and he's like, let's throw it into triple coverage.
Yeah, they really have that Cowboys archetype now, and that's a little scary. But, I digress. The big moment that everybody talks about. Bill, you know what it is. I'm pretty sure you saw it.
I watched it live.
I watched it live, and I was so happy. J.J. Watt getting blocking and picking off a pass from E.J. Manuel, taking it in over 80 yards for a touchdown.
Yes.
Pick six. That was what?
He ran that back.
He is so happy.
That was a long run for a big guy like him.
I know. He didn't. I don't even think he knew how to react to that. I bet. I'm pretty sure he never thought he'd ever make a pick six. He's made picks I think he's made picks before, fumbles and interceptions, but he's never taken them in all the way. Maybe 20 yards at best, and then he's stopped by somebody. That's incredible. Right. But despite that, they've done well. I think Jonathan Joseph, or one of the players, picked off E.J. Manuel at the end. That's why he got benched now. You said he's still benched, right?
He has been benched for some quarterback that I don't remember his name.
Yeah, and that unknown quarterback is going to go up against the Lions. But
oh man,
we're done talking about the Texans, because I think that's all that's worth noting. I still want to know who picked him off, but I don't know. I'm hoping it was Jonathan Joseph, because he's one of my favorite defensive players. It's kind of the name, but that goes to a show I watch, and that takes forever to explain. Right. But anyway, it's just a bunch of coincidences. So, okay, Bill, you have to lead off the Patriots game, because I did not watch that at all. I couldn't. That was on ESPN.
I watched that slaughter. The Patriots game basically can be summarized as this. Tom Brady and the Patriots start out the game. It's 0-0. They cannot block a single person coming into the backfield. Gets their run game stuffed, which puts them in a hole. They consistently are in a hole the entire game, as the Kansas City defense just swarmed Tom Brady. Tom Brady had nowhere to go. He had no one to run the football. He had no one to pass to. He has no weapons. His offensive line is garbage, and his defense let him down. and eventually it just turned into a slaughter. Tom Brady was starting to force in footballs to his wide receivers. It was a literal slaughter.
That might have been why they took him out, because he's way too. I want to say he's way too Romo mindseted, where it's like, I got to make these passes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I think you said it yourself. You criticized Romo as a way like he gets in the mindset where I have to make this pass. That's where you're really emotional and you got to stay calm. So yeah, I think I know where you're coming from.
He was in that mindset that I cannot get any help. Time to take the work on my shoulders and just throw my way to victory. And they were just sitting on routes to Julian Edelman. I mean, literally, the only person that Tom Brady has to throw to is Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski. Danny Amendola, non-factor. Brandon LaFell had 119 yards and a touchdown, but one of the touchdowns was not even thrown to him by Tom Brady. And that's when the Kansas City defense just, upped and quit. They just said, "Oh, okay, we're winning 34-3. I don't care," or 34-0. I mean, they were trying to put a comeback on was New England, and it fell flat on its face.
Well, I could tell you the Saints at least did a better job at trying a comeback. I mean, you got Jerry Jones a little scared, but we'll talk about that later.
Yep. But really the big problem is that they have no running game. Tom Brady has zero running game to go to. And it's been a consistent problem for numerous years, ever since really Corey Dillon left in 2004 or 2003. They have had no running game.
I'm guessing it never was obvious until, because you never really had to worry about running when you had a great thrower like Tom Brady, who never really made any issues.
If you really think back in the last 10 years, can you name a Patriots running back?
Nope.
Compared to wide receivers?
Nope.
I mean, they threw themselves out of running downs. They never ran the football. There was no need to, because they had a deep threat. That's another thing that they don't have, is a deep threat in that offense. Who are you afraid of to cover? No one.
Mm-hmm.
Gronkowski's not gonna beat you down the field with his speed. He's 6'7". He's a lumbering giant. Literally, he's an amazing football player within 10 to 15 yards. But you're not going to worry about him, running past you.
Personally, if I were a quarterback, I'd rather go for the short yards and I'm guaranteed a first down instead of go for the big play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the other thing is that you have to make the defense respect that you will try to take a shot downfield.
Yeah.
Where they can't just sit on close routes. Because why really cover the deep routes if really there's nothing, they can't get anyone down the field?
Of course you gotta still go for the big ones.
I mean, they can play man coverage on this. If they didn't have to play man coverage and they would have to double team a monster receiver like a Calvin Johnson or a Dez Bryant, it frees up the rest of your offense. And they don't have that threat.
I think they know what to consider for the next draft or a trade.
They need all sorts of offensive parts. They need a lot of offensive parts, and they need offensive linemen, and badly.
There's a team that at least has been doing the lineman part, but we'll get to that later.
But yeah, that game was hard to watch if you're a Patriots fan.
I'm glad I slept through it.
At a point, Tom Brady was benched by the coach in the fourth quarter, and Jimmy Garoppolo came in and threw a touchdown pass to Gronkowski.
Oh, man. Oh, well. So, Bill, I think we should move on to who is now the number one defense in the league.
Oh, yes. And we all know who that is. We are talking about my Detroit Lions. Oh, the look of frustration on Rex Ryan's face, it was priceless to me. The other thing that was very priceless to me is when fans of the New York Jets were chanting, "We want Vic! We want Vic!" Well, I have news for all of them. Even if Michael Vick came into that game, the Lions defense would have smothered him. That defense is playing like the offense is playing. Aggressive, mean, nasty, and good. And like I said at the beginning of the season, if the Lions, even last season, if you remember those videos, if the Lions defense can play like their offense, they will be a scary team. They're 3-1 right now, and you just saw an example. They shut down the running game of the Jets. They became one-dimensional, and Geno Smith was forced to pass, and they were knocking down passes right and left. The corners were knocking down passes right and left, and then it just frustrated the entire New York crowd. I mean, literally, and the other scary thing about that game was that Calvin Johnson only had 12 receiving yards. 12.
I remember that was the big thing, but Golden Tate finally stepped up to the plate. And I was looking forward to that for so long, you don't even know.
Golden Tate came, that was his coming out party. He really had no one throwing him the football in Seattle. He's a strong, mean, nasty sucker. I am so glad he is in a Detroit uniform, and we've got him for 4 or 5 years. He's going to be an amazing compliment to
what position is he? I've never heard his position, what it's called. He's not a wide receiver, Golden Tate.
What? He's more a slot receiver.
That's what he's called?
Yeah, he's more of a slot guy. He's in the inside of the receiving core. You got the two guys on the outside, and then there's a 3 wide receiver set, he would be probably standing next to Calvin, or sometimes lined up as the number 2.
Oh, okay.
But I mean,
I'm glad because it seems the word golden is really getting to me, but I think that's because of Persona 4 Golden. But despite that, I'm glad that guy was on the team. I had a good feeling about him. I mean, even though I wasn't a big fan of the Seahawks, I do like their uniform style though. But I just had a feeling this guy could go places, but just the team was so picky with other people. You know what I mean? It's like you're just leaving that untapped talent alone. Sure, you got other great talented people, but you got to use this one too. You know what I mean? The Lions are finally harvesting him in his potential, and that's a good thing.
You have an amazing offensive coordinator in Joe Lombardi, the grandson of Vince Lombardi.
Yep.
You have Jim Caldwell, and you have an amazing defensive coordinator. I don't even remember who they have as the defensive coordinator, but it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the results. Number 1 defense and a scary offense. And that's a scary combination. And if they can keep this up the rest of the year, because Chicago's defense is terrible, Green Bay's defense is terrible, and the Minnesota Vikings have no offense.
Mm-hmm. They've lost them all due to either controversy or injuries.
Exactly. They have nobody in Minnesota that can play offense. I mean, who in Minnesota, no one's really scaring you. So, I mean, overall, the Lions are in a scary position, and that game Sunday sort of solidified because they played a damn good New York Jets defense, and they prevailed over them.
I will say, though, there is one little thing that bothered me about that game.
The running game.
No.
For the Lions.
Oh, yeah, because Reggie Bush didn't do much. I don't think he did anything. I didn't see him at the stats at all.
Him and Joik Bell really did nothing.
Oh, yeah.
And Joik Bell left with an injury as well.
And probably was what discouraged them. But no, that's not the one I was talking about. That is a problem, but I actually assumed you were going to talk about that. My problem was that the Jets were coming back at the end.
Yeah, that's the... As long as they... Geno Smith is not going to give up. It just... You got... As the Lions, they kind of... That was one of their issues last year. They sort of took the foot off the gas pedal. Instead of, taking the foot off the gas pedal, push it all the way to the floor and just run over people. That's what I want to see.
I really hope they do that next week.
Don't press the brakes. If you're winning 42-0, I want to see another 42 points. I don't care what the other team does.
That's what my problem was. There's not only the issue of can they win away. This is the Jets. I don't know if I'd say that definitely seals the deal, in my opinion, where they can do really good at away. You know what I mean? I still am going to be skeptical about that. I'm sorry, but I have to criticize the team. That's what it takes for people to get better. You know what I mean?
No matter what, any stadium's very difficult to play in. As long as you keep winning away, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
This, as you'll see in our picks, they're playing at home this week, and
yeah, I just don't want them to be like the Saints, where they're great at home but okay at everywhere else. I'm starting to see that becoming a trend with a lot of teams. You know what I mean?
Well, really, to be honest, that's typically what happens to a lot of good teams. If you look at the Seahawks last year, they never lost a game at home. They lost their games away from home.
That's why I just don't want the Lions to be that way, or really any of the teams I like. I want them to win everywhere they go.
Exactly, but that's difficult to do.
Yeah, but again, the other problem was that they need to finish. And they shouldn't have let the Jets score no more than 10 points.
You at the end of a game, you need to learn that killer instinct and just step on their throats and just end it.
Yeah, because if they don't learn that, they're going to learn it the hard way when it's a game they should have won and that team comes back.
I'll tell you a game they should have won that they should have never lost is the Carolina Panthers game.
Yeah, because they've really lost their identity. But, I think everybody expected the Ravens to win. I didn't. I thought the Panthers were actually going to rebound. But
yep.
That's not what we're talking about. Is that anything else you want to say about the Lions?
Overall, it was a really strong game. I can't wait to see what they do from here. And I'm just excited for the future because of these first 4 games.
I'm excited too. I just hope I can fucking watch these games. The only one I'm guaranteed is that Thanksgiving game.
Exactly.
And I want to see more than that. But that's okay. Actually,
and maybe the bye week for the Cowboys as well.
Cowboys and the Texans, maybe, but likely the Cowboys because they both always hog Fox. But I might be bold to predict. You know how we both originally said that the Cardinals are going to beat the Lions? I'm not so sure about that now. You've got number 1 defense. They're in the top 10 passing game, top 15 offense.
I'll tell you what. The Arizona Cardinals, if they have Drew Stanton as their starting quarterback, I like my Lions' chances.
Yeah.
If they have Carson Palmer, it's a much closer game.
I think that the Lions can do it. I think they can beat the Cardinals. If the Cardinals stay undefeated, Lions will be the upsetter. I think that's going to happen, but who knows? It's just that now that they're really coming in, and if they stick with it, some of our picks are going to be wrong, which we'll be glad for. The lost parts, like I say they're going to beat the Saints. I think that they might beat the Cardinals. The Falcons, maybe, because, that 56-14 slaughter.
That Falcons game is in London.
Oh, it's in London. Wait, the Lions are going to London too?
Yep.
Oh, that's going to be good then. Okay, go Detroit. Just shit on them.
That Lions game's in London, and I think it's going to be full steam ahead.
Well, cats like to eat birds, so yeah.
What?
Let's go to the other Ryan crying game.
Yeah.
I purposely structured this so we could go from one Ryan to the next.
Yes.
Cowboys, they did exactly everything I wanted them to do in spades. They had everything in spades. Run DeMarco Murray, keep Drew Brees off the field for as long as you can, and it worked. It worked. They shut out the Saints on the first half of the game, and they finished. I don't know if I'd say spectacularly if this were any other team, but for the Cowboys, this was spectacular, and they needed that huge morale boost. For a non-division team, I think the Saints are kind of the rivals, because, it seems everybody wants to be number 9 when it comes to a quarterback. Drew Brees, Tony Romo, Stafford, how many 9s? What about the other numbers?
Well, really, they are the quarterbacks are only given from numbers like 1 to 14 to choose from.
I know, but still, why is it always 9? What's so special about the number? Was there a legendary quarterback with the number 9?
Brett Favre, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, man. Well, then we got.
Oh wait, no. Was Brett Favre 9? I don't know.
I thought he was 5.
I thought he was 5. Yes.
Maybe, because maybe he switched numbers in different places, but I don't know. Regardless, the Cowboys ran DeMarco Murray and all that stuff. Drew Brees got picked once, and I like that. One of his players, I think, fumbled the ball. DeMarco Murray didn't fumble the ball. I thought he was. I think everybody was waiting in that first quarter. Is he going to fumble the ball? He didn't.
Thank God he didn't.
You know who the real star was? We're not talking about it that much. I think his name is Clarence Williams. I know his last name is Williams. He got 2 touchdowns because they were double covering Dez. You see what? It's like what you were. What are you saying, Bill?
Like a lot of teams should be doing is double teaming him.
Dez?
Yeah.
Yeah, but doing so, you leave other great weapons like Clarence Williams. Yeah. And of course, DeMarco Murray, who could just plow through the defensive lines.
Yeah. To be honest, the Dallas Cowboys physically manhandled the New Orleans Saints.
Do you know how happy that makes me?
I can only assume.
I hate the Saints. This makes me really happy.
Nothing makes me more proud to watch both the Ryan brothers. If I could have a screenshot of just both Ryans standing there looking crestfallen, it would make my day.
I will go find you those.
Seriously. If it's in the video, that will be the greatest thing ever. No.
I don't think I'll find it, but I'll try.
Just, they're both just standing there with their mouth agape like, really?
I'm gonna go find the one with the Patriots and that, the Saints game. You know, the one that ended in the field goal? I know I have that picture in Twitter somewhere. I just gotta find it.
Oh, man.
I'll find it, and if I can't find these games, you have to settle for that one, but trust me, I liked it so much. It's like, oh, thank you, based Patriots. Yes. This is why I watch you, for shit like that. But anyway.
But the Cowboys' defense, though, is the story of the year right now.
Stopping Drew Brees.
Yeah, they stopped Drew Brees, but you know what? You know what they probably use as motivation? People like me that were doubting their tenacity. You know, well, the Dallas Cowboys will be 2-14 this year. Their defense will probably be the worst of all time. That that sort of stuff they probably used as motivation.
Of course, because remember, Bill, when it comes to life, nothing is more satisfying than proving someone wrong.
Exactly. And there was a nation of people that did not believe that the Cowboys could play defense this year.
I I will say they're still nowhere near to being the best, but they're durable. But
They're nowhere near as bad as Philadelphia and Chicago.
Philadelphia's, like I said, they are a glass cannon. Their offense is one of the best in the league. Even though they lost miserably to San Fran, I will say they're still good. But
They didn't score a single offensive touchdown.
those
in
were
that
all
game.
special teams. That's crazy.
Yep.
When has that happened before? When the only scoring points were for a team were special teams.
I'm not sure, but I don't think every single. I'm not sure, but I don't think every single way to score a touchdown has ever been scored in a game. You know, a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown, an interception, a fumble, a punt block,
By a single team or in general, like
Yeah.
in a single game.
like a single game, punt block, field goal block, you know, etc.
Oh no, you'll never see that anytime soon. The odds of that are really low. I mean, everybody from
Safety.
safety, of course. I was hoping for so many safeties at certain points. They never happened for me.
I love
Like
watching. I like watching safeties. That way, the referees can make the little triangle symbol above their head.
Yeah, I like seeing that. It's so rare. You never see it. But
It's like
the Bills should have been putting a safety from the Texans, but that didn't happen.
exactly.
There's so many that should happen, but they somehow pull out. But
But I'll tell you what though. Getting back on topic, the Dallas Cowboys though, they're doing everything the right way. If you want to win football games, you run the football, you pass when you need to pass, and the more you run the football, the more play action becomes a weapon. The more play action bites that the defense has, the more wide open Des Bryant gets. That's a recipe for disaster for defenses.
yeah, I mean, he is now the best rusher in the league, hands down. Now, I think that game really proved that. I don't think he got as much yards as compared to other games. I don't remember. He got a touchdown, I know that. Clarence Williams got 2. Dez got the final one, and there should have been one more. That fumble that one of the players picked up. He should have taken that in. He was going to, but they whistled it dead, saying,
The failure of the referees.
honestly, I wish that, because they've done this so many times where things like you grab the ball, they went so many yards, whether they made it or not, they should have been, or they stopped. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't know why they don't. If it looks like a fumble, you let the play go. You're gonna have to review it anyway. You don't need a coach to put the red flag to look it over.
It's like the You know why most referees want to make the call? Because if they make the call right, they're judged on calls. So if they make the call right, they get to go to the Super Bowl because their overall cumulative grade for calls and non-calls is what determines what refs are in the Super Bowl. And the refs in the Super Bowl get a pretty nice, bonus paycheck.
How much are we talking here?
Hundreds of thousands.
Son of a bitch. Everybody gets paid a lot there. They're getting their money from all the ads, because you know how much it costs to run an ad there for 30 seconds? Over $3 million.
Yeah, that's more, I'm pretty sure, to the cable TV companies.
But you know what I mean. They got a lot of money, so there's enough for everybody.
I mean, overall, if you really think about it, the Super Bowl brings in, for each each station tons of money.
I mean, there's a reason why it goes to one station a year. Like, it just reset to NBC. Now, next year, Super Bowl 50 is going to be with CBS. Then 51, Fox. Then we go all the way around.
Yep. And they're coming soon. They're going to renegotiate all the TV deals. And last time they negotiated the TV deals, it was over $1 billion just for Fox to get those games. $1 billion.
Because they used to be on ABC, right?
Fox has had the NFC for 20 plus years.
Remember, I saw some games on NBC or ABC though when I was a kid.
The ABC game was Monday Night Football.
Oh, and now it's ESPN.
Yeah, and well, technically ABC and ESPN are both owned by Disney, so it really.
Wait, what? ESPN is owned by Disney?
Oh yeah,
This is the first time I ever heard of that.
They were bought by Disney long ago.
God damn, Disney owns everything. They're in everything.
Disney owns ESPN. Disney owns ABC. That's why you see ESPN on ABC.
Son of a bitch. Disney owns Star Wars too. They own Lucasfilm. So they own everything he has. But that's straying off topic. But still, that's the first I've heard of that. I never knew that.
Comcast owns NBC.
Well, who owns CBS?
CBS is still CBS.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
Well, aren't they the oldest one?
Yeah, they're the oldest one, but ABC was bought by Disney 20 years, maybe 15 years ago.
Of course I didn't hear about it, because I wasn't even born. Maybe. I might not have been born, or I was barely 1 years old.
Yeah, it was 15, 20 years ago. It's been a very long time since they've been bought by Disney.
If I was born already, I was probably too young to know, but oh well. Going back to the game, anything else to know? I'm not sure. I think that's really it.
Really, the Saints got just physically manhandled,
and they were proven again that they're not that great at away games.
I really personally don't think the Saints are really that good. Period.
It's just that they've got a really good player in Jimmy Graham.
They got Jimmy Graham and Drew Brees, who's hitting his 36, 37 season, and is starting to kind of show now.
Yeah, he won his Super Bowl. I think that's good enough. Really, just going and winning one Super Bowl ring, I'd be content with that. I mean, I'd want to go again, but even if I never got to the playoffs again, I'd still be glad that I got a ring. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just going to the Super Bowl is wonderful.
One ring is better than no rings.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like so many try, but only, of course, one gets it. Per year.
A lot of the greatest teams ever played never won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look in the early 90s, the Buffalo Bills, they probably had the better teams than a couple of those other teams that they faced in the Super Bowl. Like the New York Giants, they should have beat the Giants, and they probably should have beat the Washington football team.
Mm-hmm.
The team that they weren't going to beat was the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh yeah, Cowboys in the '90s.
When you had 3 Hall of Fame offensive players on the same team at the exact same time.
I wish I knew how to think by then.
But think of it this way: when those two teams played, there was 6 Hall of Famers facing off against each other on offense.
Damn.
Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, and Andre Reed for the Buffalo Bills against Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin. 6 Hall of Famers.
Oh, that is Super Bowl title worthy. That is a Super Bowl right there.
A lot of people don't a lot of people don't give those Buffalo teams a lot of credit. That's one of the hardest feats ever do. 4 straight Super Bowls, no matter what. Even if you lose all 4, that's more of a difficult feat than winning 2 in a row.
Like I said, it's just great going to a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
But I think we should move on.
heck yeah.
Let's move on to some future games because we didn't have any subjects. There are some, but I don't think they were really good enough to talk about.
Right.
Uh,
So,
we're talking about
we
future
should-
games, so it's the Lions one, right?
yeah, the Lions against the Buffalo Bills. I'm not going to give the pick. I'm just going to kind of give a general overview, a really decently general overview. The Buffalo Bills are a decently good defense team,
Yeah.
but they're starting a unknown at quarterback. And, when you start an unknown at quarterback, you don't know if they have chemistry with that quarterback or not. But the Lions having a number 1 defense is not the perfect time to start this quarterback. The perfect time to start him would be either after the Lions game or after your bye week. So the Lions are going to probably luck into a new... I think it's Kyle Orton. I'm pretty sure it's Kyle Orton that's going to be playing against the Lions now that I think about it.
I've heard that
Pretty
name before, but I don't remember.
Yeah, he's the former Chicago Bears quarterback. He also was the backup to Tony Romo in Dallas for a few years.
Oh, that's how I know him. I remembered him because of that.
Yup.
Okay, now I remember. Okay. So, is that all you were going to say for now?
Well, I feel that the Lions, it's going to be an interesting game, and I'll give my general overview of what I think's going to happen during picks.
Well, I was gonna say for me, I was gonna say what they should do to get a win, and especially let that defense keep that title,
Oh, yeah.
because you got to keep fighting for that title and let it stay with you.
Exactly.
But
Hold on to the number 1 defense belt.
for as
You
long
wanna
as
hold
you
on.
can, long as you can. And even if they do
Exactly.
lose it, stay as close to that belt as you can, so you could snag it when you get the chance. But
If they have a top 5 defense this year, I will be very happy.
I'm glad they're number 1 right now. But I wanted to stay that way for the whole season.
It's very difficult to do that.
Has there ever been a team that was number 1 from start to finish in history in anything, offense or defense?
Two.
Who are they?
I'm pretty sure there was numerous offenses have done that, like the 2007 Patriots.
Well, of course.
They started out on fire, but I would put 2 defenses or 3 defenses as being number 1 all time. Like the number 1 all time defense, the '85 Bears. They probably were number 1 the entire year. The next great defense I could remember that's probably was number 1 the entire year, the 2000 Baltimore Ravens. That defense was scary. There was a game against the Steelers where they won the game like 9-7.
It's that low.
Yeah, it was that defense was one of the lowest scored on defenses of all time. The '85 Bears were the lowest scored defense of all time.
How much was the
And
most
then-
scored by the Bears? Well, when you went up against them?
When we went up against them,
No. What was the most that someone's ever scored against the '85 Bears?
not a lot.
So what's the
Maybe-
third team?
The third team, and you're not probably going to like hearing this, was last year's Seahawks team.
I don't care about that one.
Last year's Seahawks defense is arguably one of the 3 greatest defenses ever put together.
And they're not doing so well now because they figured them out.
Yeah, well, they lost a few pieces as well too.
Yeah, but of course, like I said, after you get a whole whole year to analyze every team. Of course, your first priority is the Super Bowl champion.
Super Bowl hangover. Super Bowl hangover.
Mm-hmm. Because everybody's going to be looking at you, whether you like it or not.
Especially after you beat the Broncos as badly as you did in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, if you win badly, I mean, it's not a good Super Bowl to us, but to the analyzers, it's good because they get to spend all day looking for ways to make you look bad. But
Exactly.
I don't know. So for what I think what the Lions need to do, don't let the Bills score from beginning to end. I don't want to see the Bills start racking up points at the end, trying to rally for a comeback. Any chance of hope that they got, you crush it and put them back into despair. That's for the defense. For the offense, Stafford needs to stop throwing some picks. He didn't throw any in the last game. There were no turnovers, which is good. Keep that up.
Oh man.
Because I think
Yeah.
one of Stafford's problems is that he too seems to be susceptible to interceptions.
He has that Brett Favre mentality about him.
But if you get rid of that, if you can minimize interceptions, you're good to go. That offense, I would shave off a few numbers off that offense and put it to a 9. It's number 12 right now. So I would put it to a 9 if not for some of those interceptions, which I think most of them led to scores.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, his passing's great. He's number 7. He's the 7th best passer.
Yeah. That's not typical for him.
Yeah. So I mean, he's improved. I mean, it's just a matter of do that. Give the ball to Reggie Bush. Utilize the other weapons. And I don't know about Calvin. Is Calvin good or is he still hurt a little bit?
I wouldn't be surprised if his ankle's still dinged up a little bit.
It's like you may as well bench him and use him for if the other guy gets hurt.
Just keep using him as a decoy.
Yep, because they're gonna look at him anyway. I don't think they are though. I think they're actually gonna start to cover the other guys like Golden Tate. Maybe.
Hey, they can leave single coverage on Calvin. I'd take that every day of the week.
Same here. Because I mean, there were people. I was looking up Calvin's injuries, see what's going on. There was a video that said of a guy saying Calvin is not the best receiver. And the fact that he's lost it since the year started. So it's are you sure it's early? But
How? That's impossible because he can't lose something that he can't have, with an injury.
yeah. But I don't know.
I mean, it'd be like you getting shot in the foot and then expected to run fast. I mean, that's idiotic logic.
Yeah, if I could, I would show you the video, but I forgot. I don't feel like finding it. But
It's just bad logic, I, if you're hurt, of course you're not gonna have anything.
yeah. I mean, Arian Foster was hurt, and yet he still kept his spot at number 3. That didn't go
Alright.
anywhere. So the Lions defense, do what I said, be good from start to finish. I'm pretty confident the offense is going to be fine, especially now that we know Golden Tate. Well, I knew, but now everybody knows that Golden Tate is really useful. And you just got to
Right.
give Reggie Bush the ball. You got to get that balance of rushing and passing to always keep their defense confused. You know what I mean?
Right.
As for the Texas Showdown, if you remember back in the preview of the season, I was like, Texans easily got this. Cowboys are not going to do well at all. I think even you thought something on those lines, Bill.
Oh yes, I'm not going to lie. I thought the Cowboys would get blown out.
I
in
think
this
we all
game.
did. And I think one of the commentators, when I was watching the game, said that, you know why the Cowboys are also doing so well in our minds? It's because we didn't expect much from them this year. That's why they look so impressive right now, because we had such low expectations. And that's true.
They've already exceeded my expectations. I predicted them to go 2-14.
And they're 3-1.
Exactly. So they've already far exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, and they're exceeding mine because I think that they might beat the Texans. The Texans, I didn't see them really work on that stopping the run game against the Bills, and the Bills don't have a great run game. Well, it's good. It's top 15, but still, it's not that great. Like if you can't stop these guys, what makes you think or the Giants especially? Then they had a very terrible rushing. What makes you think you can stop the number one rusher? If you can't stop those two, what makes you think you can get DeMarco Murray? I think that
It's
they're really going to work on that this week.
I, to be honest, this game to me comes down to one factor and one factor only. And I think besides DeMarco, I really expect that Tony Romo's going to outplay Ryan Fitzpatrick in every phase of the game.
Well, that's going to be a given, really. I mean, if Fitzpatrick doesn't throw a pick, that's going to be, I wouldn't say a miracle, but that's going to be surprising at the very least.
Fitzpatrick, he has those games where there's some games he looks brilliant, and then there's some games that he looks like garbage. And last week, he was in the middle of the road. The week before, he was garbage.
Well, I think the Texans defense really saved him from looking like garbage. Let's be honest,
Yeah,
because
real.
if that didn't get picked off at the end from EJ Manuel, it it would have been a loss clearly. Texans would have lost that game.
So really, to me, besides DeMarco running the football and I think DeMarco's on Gasham. I think that really the key to the game is what Tony Romo does with the football.
He's gonna have to pass it at some points.
Yeah, what he does with the football, and if he makes the smart decisions, and he's running the football correctly, and then they start play actioning, and someone's wide open, and he sees them and doesn't try to throw it into triple coverage to Dez. If there's another guy wide open, will he throw it to him?
I think he will, but oh, here's the other thing. Remember, the Texans are more of a pass rushing team, as evidence with these past two games. But no doubt Romo's gonna know he has to throw the ball quickly. Now, how will this turn out? Will it result in him getting the ball to someone quickly, or B, that would be considered hasty and he ends up throwing a pick? I think he's going to actually be under pressure because the Texans have a good pass rushing team, especially even if we don't have Jadeveon Clowney, which, by the way, he should be returning any week now, right? This is like the fourth
Yeah.
week. So after this week, he should come in any time as soon as the doctors give the okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that really what the Dallas Cowboys offensive line is pretty big and mean. So I think they'll neutralize JJ a little bit. I mean, they don't have to really super neutralize him. Just neutralize him enough. I mean, if they double team J.J. Watt, there's really no one else that can really hurt you on the defensive side of the football for the Texans until Jadeveon gets back. Because if they double team J.J. and Jadeveon's left wide open, look out.
Every time I think of Jadeveon coming back, I just have this big grin on my face. It's like, let it happen already. I need this guy to shit on them.
And the other scary part is they like lining him up next to J.J. Watt, just to his left. And who are you going to block?
It's gonna look like.
Who are you going to block? You're going to try to block this freak of nature? This freak of nature, amazing, talented pass rusher in J.J. Watt?
And then it looks like his apprentice.
His apprentice, and mean and nasty. He knocked the helmet off of a Michigan football player? He in college he hit a guy so hard his helmet flew off his head.
That's incredible.
So if you get those two lined up next to one another, who do you block? Unless you want to have your quarterback's head knocked off.
Oh, but that's not going to happen likely this week. If it
It's
was,
not.
we would have known already. There would have been word that Clowney's getting better. I think
Not
after
this week.
I think after this game we'll start hearing, because technically Clowney should be back by either on or after the Steelers game. But that's a game I think that the Texans will lose easily.
But I'm telling you right now, the Battle of Texas is going to be quite the game. I think it's going to be quite the game.
Will it be a shootout though?
I don't think it'll be a shootout, but I think it'll be like a 27, like 18-17 game, you know?
Oh, so I don't know. I think Romo's going to throw a pick. Whether it's a point where it matters, because let's be real, when's the best time to... This sounds like a stupid question, but when's the best time to throw a pick six?
At the first quarter.
Yeah. It's really the first half in general. Because you have that time left at the other half to rebound. I mean, the Rams game was proof of that, because Romo threw a pick six, and he still did that, came back from 21 points.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So it all depends. When Romo fucks up, which I believe he will, but that's not to say Fitzpatrick won't. When they fuck up, when will it happen? It's a time bomb, and when will it set off? When will these guys clip the wrong wire?
We'll find out this weekend.
Mm-hmm. So Texans need to get Romo quick before he throws the ball, or force him to fuck up. Fitzpatrick, give that ball to Arian Foster. They've been doubting him. They need to have faith in Foster, even if he still might look a little shaken up. Anyway, then you have what's his name? What's his name? I forget his first name, but it's Blue. His last name's Blue. You have
Alfred.
Blue. Alfred?
Yep, Alfred Blue.
He's good. We got blue, now we just need red, and then we got red versus blue. So, you got blue, but they don't have faith in him either, but just trust him and let him do his thing too if you can't use Arian Foster. And he can make similar results, in my opinion. Get that ball to Hopkins, and if they double cover him, which I get the feeling Dallas will, guess what? You got Andre Johnson to pick up the slack, and get a touchdown.
Exactly.
So if they double cover on Andre Johnson, which I don't think that's good, Hopkins going to be wide open, and he's going to be getting some touchdowns. And the other way around, but Cowboys, it's just literally the opposite of what I said, mostly. And just give the ball to DeMarco Murray.
So, rinse and repeat, just with different names.
I actually think J.J. Watts might be positioned closer to the middle just to stop Murray. Maybe.
What scares you is that DeMarco can just bounce it any direction.
Mm-hmm.
So it really doesn't even matter where JJ gets lined up, because really they're gonna double team him no matter where he goes.
Mm-hmm. Oh well. So let's go. Are you ready to go over to our picks?
Let's do it!
Alright, let's go with the Thursday night game, Bill.
Thursday night game, the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers.
Oh God! If the Lions can't win at Green Bay, Lambeau Field is what it's called, right?
Lambeau, yeah.
If you can't beat them at Lambeau, it makes the Vikings think they can. Packers, easy.
As much as it pains me to say this, and it pains me greatly, I don't see how the Minnesota Vikings are scoring more than 7 points in that game. So Green Bay, easy.
All right, let's go to Sunday night or Sunday after or morning, whatever, afternoon.
Chicago Bears at the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you'd call this my upset, because I thought the Bears were actually going to do better this year. I'm going to say the Panthers. I just want them to knock off the Bears. just add more salt to the wounds from last week's game. Because the Panthers really are going to struggle, and I think they're going to find something to
Right.
to ease the pain of these 2 straight defeats. So I'm going to go with the Panthers, just because, well, I think they have some hope left in them.
I just don't know how both defenses are going to stop each other again, because both defenses have been playing really bad recently. But I think the team that's more apt to put it all back together is going to be the Carolina Panthers. So I'm picking Carolina because, why have the Bears even anywhere near us in the division? All right.
Okay.
So, next up, the Cleveland Browns at Tennessee Titans.
I think it's kind of clear. I'm going to go with the Browns. But I will say I expect a lot of punts in this game. Not to say it's going to be a low-scoring game, but it's going to be lots of kicks.
Right. I'm going to pick the Cleveland Browns as well. If the Tennessee Titans are still starting a backup quarterback against a really good Browns defense, I can see the Browns really going off. And I really see their tight end Jordan Cameron going off as well.
I actually see Miles Austin getting some stuff done.
Yep. I mean, the whole offense could probably play really well against them, but Cleveland. All right. So.
Oh, by the way, Cleveland's number 13 in offense. They actually got a better offense than a defense.
It doesn't surprise me. To be honest, I don't think Johnny Manziel is the right quarterback for the Browns.
Who knows? They might trade him off. Maybe the Cowboys?
I doubt that. But the next game, the St. Louis Rams at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Eagles are going to rebound. They're going to treat this game like it's homecoming. I might have said that expression before. Eagles are going to win, though I don't know how the Rams defense will do. They feel hit or miss to me. Sometimes they play like a good defense, and sometimes they play crap. I still think the Eagles are just going to soar over these guys. They really need that rebound.
I feel the Eagles' offense was held in check, and it's going to explode. Eagles.
Oh, yeah. Next week's game.
And here we go. 2 teams with no defense. The Atlanta Falcons at the New York Giants.
Shootout. Calling a shootout here. Falcons are going to win, though.
Yep, I can see that
56-48.
Oh man, I don't know about that high, but I'll go 45-41.
I like to overestimate.
Overestimation is the way to go, but the Falcons will win that game. Pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be their first road win of the year. Next up, the Tampa Bay upset Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints.
They're looking for another upset, but I'll tell you, it's not here. It's not here. You can't beat the Saints at home. They may suck it away. Maybe you'll beat them at your own stadium, but you're not beating them in the Superdome. Oh, I hate it, but the Saints. And they're mad for losing to Romo, of all people. So, Saints.
I'll tell you what, ever since they put Mike Glennon back in at quarterback for the Buccaneers, they're already a better team than they ever were with Josh McCown. But the Saints are they're going to be really upset. And I feel sorry for the Buccaneers defense because I think Drew Brees is going to throw 5 touchdown passes against them at least. So, Saints.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you mind if I call this one?
And now, the Battle of Texas.
The Texas Showdown. Oh, no. I was looking forward to this, but no, I'm not. Houston at Dallas. We were talking about this, and I don't know how it's going to go. I want the Texans to win, but if they could... It's like I said earlier. If they couldn't stop the Bills... or the Giants, especially with their running game, what makes you think you can stop the best runner in the league? As it pains me to say it, I have to say Cowboys on this one. Going with a 28-21 win. Picks on both sides. Whether they become pick sixes or not, I won't say. Ugh. But please let me be wrong. I want the Texans to win so I can rub it in my grandpa's face and tell him to fuck off. Well, I won't say fuck off, but you know what I mean.
I'm going to pick dun 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 the Dallas Cowboys for the first time this year in a win over the Houston Texans. I amazingly think that they are better on defense and offense than the Texans, and that's quite the 360 from where I was.
I think everybody's making 360s now, but again, well, seeing as their trend, I'm assuming it's going to change.
360, not 360, more like a 180. 360 is a circle.
Well, it's a 180 now, but soon it will be a 360 by the end of the season when they get cut off by the playoffs by the Redskins at the final game.
6-10, they finish the season after starting 3-1 or 4-1. But next game, the Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Lions.
Oh yeah, we know where this one's going. I'm gonna go with the Lions. That defense is going to stop the Bills in their tracks, and Stafford's just going to throw some good throws. I think, who knows, maybe everybody might get a touchdown, and I want Golden Tate to get his first one as part of the team. He hasn't got one yet, right?
I think he got one last week. I'm not sure.
Did he? I only saw say that he got 116 yards. I know like two other players like got their first, but I don't think it was him.
Maybe it was.
Well, it'll be his first one in Detroit.
Okay, we can go that way. But yeah, I'm predicting a Lions blowout. It's gonna be like 35-0, 42-0. Kyle Orton, he's not known to throw very far, and the Bills' running game is the only thing that can save them, and the Lions have an amazing run defense, so I'm picking the Lions.
Yep.
Next up, the Baltimore Ravens versus the Indianapolis Colts.
I only like the Colts when it comes to postseason because, I want the Texans to always beat them. So, Colts, well, aside from that, Colts are probably going to win because they have the second best offense in the league and one of the most high-scoring teams right now. Isn't this
I totally agree.
The second straight game where they scored over 40? Can they do it again? And I might add, one of those games where they scored over 40, that was away. That wasn't home. So
right.
I think this one will kind of look like a shootout. It's going to be 40-31.
I think it'll be a Colts win, and a decently sized Colts win. Like maybe 35-21.
So Colts still got it anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
But next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, they're not going to underestimate the Jaguars because they know what it costs to underestimate a weak-looking team. They know firsthand now, and they're not going to make that mistake twice. Steelers are going with the vengeance, and I will pity the Jaguars, but then I won't for being the next game after such a terrible loss.
I think the Steelers are going to bring out the steel curtain defense, and they are going to bloody up the Jaguars. Steelers win.
Oh, no.
Probably one of the two games of the week is the next game, the Arizona Cardinals at the Denver Broncos.
Upset of the week. Cardinals win and stay undefeated in a close match because I've said before, I think the Broncos are a little overrated. Not to say they're a bad team, but they're just not as great as you think.
And I'm going to pick the Broncos. It's Peyton Manning. And, Peyton Manning will dissect that defense like he's been known to do. He almost beat Seattle in Seattle. So, I mean, the Broncos are not last year's Broncos. I'm going to give you that.
Mm-hmm.
But the Broncos are a much more complete team this year.
All right, now let's go with the next game.
Kansas City Chiefs at San Fran 49ers.
Oh, look, two teams I don't like. Must be because they're red. I seem to have a thing with hating red-colored teams. Except the Cardinals. It's really just the Cardinals. Oh, 49ers. They're sticking with that old-fashioned formula from last year. It seems to work last week. I think they're going to try it again because they don't want to lose another game at Levi's Stadium like the first week with the Bears.
Two smash-mouth teams, but I'm going to go upset-minded, and I'm going Kansas City after seeing what they did to the New England Patriots and what they can do to Colin Kaepernick.
Well,
Colin Kaepernick is going to be running for his life in that game.
good.
And I just see the Chiefs winning. It's going to be a close game. I'd say 2017.
Well, when you put it like that, now I want to pick the Chiefs. So too late. I already locked in my pick.
Next up, the New York Jets at San Diego.
Chargers are gonna just plow through the Jets defense, scoring what I think will be a high-scoring game for them. Not Colts worthy, but I think they'll be near or past 30 barely. For the Jets, probably gonna score 17 again, and that's gonna be it.
I think San Diego's going to score at least 38. So I'm picking the Chargers.
All right.
Next up, the Sunday night game, Cincinnati at New England.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I'm still gonna go with my gut and say the Patriots because remember they know how to adjust, and I still think actually Tom Brady is cooling his head because he's probably still that pissed off about the Monday night game. I think that the Patriots are going to rebound and actually put the Bengals kind of in their place. I think it's going to be a really close game, but the Patriots are going to have a solid, steady lead at the end of the game.
And I kind of see it differently. I kind of flipped on the Patriots, and I think the Bengals are the best team in the NFL, and I see them beating the Patriots pretty easily. The Patriots just don't look good, and if that offensive line couldn't block Kansas City, here comes another good defense that they have to deal with.
You know who I actually
yeah.
You know who I actually see as the best team in the NFL? This is surprising, but I think it's the Colts.
Their defense is not up to snuff, though.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, but it's good enough to me.
I mean, overall, if you look at offense and defense, the Bengals have a good offense and a good defense. The Lions have a good offense and a good defense. And the Broncos have a good offense and a good defense. And when the Cardinals get back, Carson Palmer, they'll have a good offense and a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
But one last game.
Well, technically we have two in case.
Well, the second in case, but the Monday night game, the Seattle Seahawks at the Washington Redskins.
Oh, man. The Washington football team is gonna lose.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna lose. Seahawks are gonna win. I think it might get close a little bit at a time, but Seahawks are still gonna prove that they're the lead of the pack, kind of, for now.
The Seahawks are going to eat them alive. I don't see this game as being close at all. I think this is a blowout in the making.
Mm-hmm.
I seriously don't see them scoring more than 7 points, Washington.
Wow, really? I see a lot, but the Seahawks are just gonna score more, way more.
Alright, so now the just in case special. The next game that we'll pick for week 6, but just in case that we don't actually, we actually record on a Friday next week. Alright, so this is week 6, the Thursday night game, the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans.
I'll let you pick first for this one.
I say the Indianapolis Colts because their offense is just so good, but I can see this being a shootout because the Colts defense is not good at all.
I get the feeling that I actually get the feeling there's going to be some picks off of Andrew Luck in this one, but I think that's probably because the Texans know this guy really well. Because, well, it's division rivals. You can never be too certain with division rivals because those games are always bound to be good. Why do you think they always highlight them? I'm going to go with the Texans. That's probably because I'm biased. I think J.J. Watts can actually show some moves here. Show me your moves. And there is a chance, but I don't think it'll happen because it's a Thursday night game, that Jadeveon Clowney can come back. Because remember, after this week, we should know if he can come back almost at any time as long as the doctors give him the go. Because they said a minimum of 4 weeks.
I'm just looking at the schedule for week 6.
Why? What's so bad about the schedule?
Lions, Vikings.
Oh, you got a good one for you. At the Vikings.
Oh man, but we don't want to get there because that's hilarious. We gotta save some good stuff for next week.
There are some good stuff otherwise here too. There's some good games. Another cat fight. One of the 425 games, the one, you know which one I'm thinking of. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Texans. I think that the Texans are gonna actually work their magic on this one against Andrew Luck. But I don't know. I wish we could talk about that more, but that's if we get the chance to record before Thursday.
Yeah, and if we don't, we'll just do a quick recap of the game.
Yeah, and how pleased or how frustrated I'll be because if the Colts win or lose.
Alright, so?
Alright, that's all, I guess. But, Bill, do you have anything you want to add?
Not really. I think we've got everything covered this week, and it should be a good week of football yet again.
I want to be wrong about the Texas Showdown. I want the Texans to win. I want to rub it in my grandpa's face that the Texans beat the Cowboys. How often do I get a chance like this in the main season? Because
not very often.
Let's see the last time these two teams have played. I'm going to check right now just because I know that they played last year, but that was a preseason game. The last time they played was 2010 on September 26th, yeah, and the Cowboys won.
Yeah, typically it's every 4 years that teams will play each other.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not division rivals or from the same conference.
Yep. So that's where I'm thinking. Who knows? Oh well.
What?
That's all. That's all I want to say.
All right.
All right then. I had fun. Hope you had fun, Bill. Time to say goodbye.
Oh yeah. Bye, guys.
All right. We'll see you guys in week 6. Hope my predictions go right and one of them wrong. See you guys in another video.
Yep.